Fiancé, 30M, suggesting prenup to withhold alimony from me, 28F, if we got divorced down the line. Our wedding is in 5 weeks. I don't know what to do. I've been his support system through his entire 4 years of residency, not financially. We both took care of ourselves financially as he has an LOC and we both have salaried jobs. We've lived off of a tight budget and he took me on very few dates due to the debt he is in. I've done all of the cooking / cleaning / taking care of him and our dog while working full-time since we moved in 1.5 years ago, but did a significant amount for the 2 years prior to moving in. Not that I'm keeping count, it's just the reality that our relationship has been 80% effort from me and 20% effort for him for 4 years, and I knew that would be the case going in given his work schedule right now. We agreed to not get a prenup 3 years ago since he has no substantial assets. We agreed that once I get pregnant in 2 or 3 years I would likely quit my job and become a stay-at-home mom. His parents, who have been actively destroying our relationship since we moved in together, we've gone to therapy for this, told my fiancé 6 weeks before the wedding that they are withholding their wedding contribution, half our wedding budget, unless he gets a prenup against me so I don't get alimony if we divorce down the line. Given the vulnerable position I'd be put in as a stay-at-home mom without a career anymore, I feel really hurt and betrayed by the idea of this. There are reasonable laws in place for alimony without a prenup given several circumstances, so to think of the possibility that he could leave me high and dry with a newborn baby, no job, debt still to our name and zero alimony to help me get back on my feet in 3 years from now, I feel like he isn't looking to protect me at all. It seems like a very selfish move. We never had financial insecurities and always made it work for 4 years. Never spoke of divorce or prenups. Now I hear it every day from him because he's being a realist. I get it, but the circumstances of this prenup seem very alarming to me. What are your thoughts on this? Update: he became open to not screwing me with alimony clauses and is willing to have us both go to lawyers for a fair prenup and he will pay legal fees. However, the entire thing still leaves me with a pit in my stomach. The in-law problems were our truly only big issues in the last 4 years, but the toll it had on our relationship was significant. To see them / him allow it to get to where it's gotten today breaks my heart. I feel like this and the lead up to this could have had such a different outcome had my fiancé stood his ground for us and made me his clear #1 priority all along, not feed into the destructive ideas. Note: it's a long history with the in-laws, but when I've confronted them in the recent weeks to ask why they dislike me / what I can do to apologize / how I can make things better, they have nothing other than using therapist-approved boundaries I've created against me / us. Like not wanting my mill coming over because she told me and my fiancé to get the fuck out of her house when he defended me for wanting silk flowers as my bouquet. She half apologized for this 3 weeks ago, but then the drama with her only spiraled, so I don't know how my fiancé expects me to welcome her / his dad / his bully sister into our home in the midst of all of them destroying our future. Yup, one of the sisters is part of the in-law issues. My fiancé did defend me during a 1.5 confrontational discussion, but then wedding invites went out shortly after, the family caused an uproar, we were faced with the prenup ultimatum, he said we don't need their money, then 2 days later he was in favor of getting a prenup so I couldn't rinse him of his money down the road. Again, we were always relatively on the same page with finances for 4 years. My fiancé seems to continue wanting me forgive his family and move on neutrally with them while he maintains his normal, lower contact relationship with them, and I just wouldn't come around to family functions often. I've forgiven them, either with a "I'm sorry but" or no apology at all, several times, and they only seem to get worse toward me and our relationship, but my fiancé wants to stay relatively in denial to this reality. His mom is terminally ill, so I understand why it's a challenging position for him to be in, but by him not standing by me and defending me / not allowing his parents and sister to negatively impact our relationship / wanting to continue causally spending time with them in the midst of the lead up to what's supposed to be our wedding, it only creates rising feelings of betrayal and resentment. Another note: Our therapist mentioned my fiancé seems to come from an enmeshed family dynamic. I'm sure many of you probably guessed it though. One more note, my fiancé saw this post and told me I'm withholding a fact that needs to be shared. He wants me to mention that he would split everything accumulated between the two of us while married 50-50ths. I figured that was a given in any marriage with or without a prenup. And given the fact that he has 2 fellowships after this year then needs another 2 years to pay off his debt, there won't be any actual accumulations for another 5 years anyway. This leads me to feel like his family will continue harassing me full force for the next 5 years to continue trying to bully me out. Top comment. Pinebox waiting. My so wanted me to sign a prenup to protect his assets. I was offended, but eventually relented. However, he didn't like the terms of the prenup I would agree to sign. In fact, when I laid out my terms, he laughed and said that's why I love you. We've been married decades. Go see a lawyer. He doesn't want to pay alimony. Fine. Then any asset split should be in your favor, reflecting the support you've given him that enabled him to pursue his career as well as the opportunity costs your own career has suffered by supporting him, and the money you have been unable to save and invest for your retirement because you've been supporting him. Also, he assumes all of your personal and communal debt, including any and all loans, personal or joint, incurred for any reason. You have to protect yourself. If you ever do divorce, his parents will work hard to ensure he leaves you with nothing. If he wants to play stupid games, by all means play. Do not, however, sign anything without your own legal representation. Really, though, are you sure you want to marry someone who can't stand up to his parents? Also, are you sure this is 100% his parents' idea? He certainly seems to like the idea. Baudrillard's Gatorhead. The parents are clearly wielding significantly more influence than you realize. The fact that your partner is actively supporting their demand that would leave you sole while knowing the future plan for you as a Sam shows a shocking disregard for your relationship as a whole. As Pinebox Waiting said, with his enthusiasm for this idea, it's probably not all his parents doing. This begs the question, how does he view the past and current dynamic of 80-20ths? Does he believe he's entitled to you pulling 80% of the workload because you started the relationship at that level and willingly do it without complaint still? Does he excuse his minimal effort because one day he'll have a career and money? Does he ever try and ease your strain on the down days, in his free time or in any way seek to support you in return? A successful career and decent paycheck won't change the emotional load on you, just the financial, so long as you don't divorce him. While you attempt to dismantle all of the inner workings of his thought process, you need to postpone the wedding. It will be less of a financial loss than canceling altogether, and it's enough time to notify guests appropriately. Get with an attorney to discuss appropriate prenup terms that you can discuss with your partner to look out for you. Approach the conversation with your partner with an open mind to a prenup, but with reasonable terms outlined that doesn't set either party up for financial ruin with your current SAM plan. If he is not willing to work with you and an attorney together to draft a fair agreement, do not sign anything. Establish alternative sources of funding for your nuptials to eliminate the parents forcing terms on your future. If you can't afford the wedding without their help, perhaps you should consider making some cost-cutting changes to the nuptials. Control the situation so you and your partner are able to make hard decisions together, for the relationship, without hands being forced. Address all of this with the therapist pronto. Your emotional concerns and his regard for your future are giant red flags that need to be discussed prior to legally binding you two together.